Hi everyone. A few of you have asked me what the best way is to get up off the floor, if you've had a fall or even if you are just on the floor for whatever reason. So I've put together a few different scenarios where we utilize different pieces of furniture or a staircase, or in the event that you do not have anything else to use to pull you up off the floor. So as always, please let me know at the end if you do have any questions at all, but I hope you enjoy this video. In this scenario, we're going to be using furniture to help us get up off the floor. So again, we're finding ourselves down on the floor, all the way down in this position. Remember, always take a few deep breaths, have a little feel of where you are, and just take a moment to calm yourself down. So making sure that you're feeling all right, your heart rate has come down and you can breathe easy. Now from here, again, you want your dominant arm on top so that you are able to push through this side. So you are going to push yourself up and then use both arms to slowly bring yourself in. Now I'm going to stay here just for a moment, just to get my bearings, take a breath, and now see if there are any injuries now that I'm in a different position that I may not have been able to feel before. Now again, you are going to be doing a little bit of a shuffle across the floor. So I'm going to use my good leg. Unfortunately, I'm very close to my couch here, but you might have to move a little bit further along the floor. So I'm going to shuffle my back towards a good piece of furniture that is nice and sturdy, and it's not going to shift if I put my body weight on it. Now, you might take a moment to find a piece of furniture like that, and ideally something quite low down is good as well. So I've got my couch right here. Now, if you can, this might not always be the scenario, but if you can pull cushions down onto the floor to have a soft furnishing to kneel on, especially if it's really uncomfortable for your knees to kneel on the floor. And also, if the surface is a little bit too high, but you're able to pull the couch cushions off, that can make it a much easier thing to get your hips up onto or from off the floor. So if you can pull cushions off, that's really great as well. Now from here, I'm going to be bringing my hips right up against this furniture that I can use my arm on now. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll my knees. So ideally this will be your good knee. If you've got one good and one bad, bring your best or your strongest knee onto this position here. So you're going to roll that knee on. Now from here, you can see that I'm pushing through this arm here. I'm going to push through my arms lightly to shift my body weight onto this softer surface here. So I've got my knees down, I've got one knee on the ground, one knee on the pillow. You can absolutely utilize two pillows here if you need. So now from here, I'm in a 4-point kneeling position. Take a moment here if you need, because this might still be a little bit uncomfortable. Then from here, what you're going to do is shift your good knee forwards or your strongest knee forwards. I also like to have a hand on the piece of furniture here, because then that can assist with this movement. Now from here, bringing your good knee forwards or your strongest leg forwards. And if you know that it's going to be a struggle to get yourself up from here, in a little switch of emotion, you're going to shift your hips up onto this piece of furniture. And there, you don't actually have to stand up all the way. You can take a moment from here and then come up off the chair as you usually would. So I'll show you that one more time. So you'll be on the floor, on your hands and knees, you come up into this position. Now you do want to bring your dominant leg forwards. So you're going to bring a good strong leg forwards right in front of you here. Then you can either push through on top of your leg here or push through your hand that's on the piece of furniture and do a little shift of your hips to come up into a seated position. Take a moment and then return all the way up to standing. So in this next scenario, I'm going to be utilizing a staircase to help us up off the floor. So I'm going to come down into a lying position. So you never know exactly how you're going to fall if you are, or if you're just lying on the floor, but we're going to start off lying on the side. Now from here, I am going to be using my arms. Now, of course, again, taking a few deep breaths, having a little feel of your body, making sure that everything feels okay and you haven't actually damaged anything structurally. Now from here, you are going to push yourself up using your hands. Now, ideally, if you've got one particularly bad shoulder and there is no way that you can push up using this side, if you can maneuver yourself so that you have got your dominant arm or your stronger arm on top, that is better. So you're going to push up through your hand, utilizing both arms if you can, to come into a side sitting position. Now from here, you might want to take a moment just to take a deep breath, making sure that you've got good balance, you're not dizzy here, and then using this staircase, so you might be a little bit further away on the floor, you might actually have a few meters to cross here. So you're going to shuffle towards the stair. Now, if you've got one good leg and one knee, if say you've had a knee replacement on one side or you've just got pain through one side, utilize the good side more to help push you or shuffle you across the floor. And the arms are a great assistance here as well. Now, once you get to the step, in this scenario, you do need to utilize your hands and your upper body strength a fair bit more. You can use your good leg as well, or if you've got both good legs, that's even better, but pushing through the hands. So once your back is up against the staircase, pushing through the heel of your palm, also pushing through one particularly good leg, or both if you can, to assist those hips up onto the next step. Now, you probably know where I'm going with this. We're now going to push up to the next step again. So legs a little further away so that it's a little bit more comfortable through the knee joint to push through. Hands are on the step above, and then pushing through the hands again and bringing the hips up one step higher. Now again, do this as slowly as you need. If you've had a fall, people are often thinking, come straight up off the floor, but you do want to take it slowly. Just take it at your own pace. And then again, now I've got a bit of a twisty staircase, which makes it a little bit harder, but I'm going to bring one foot up, one foot on the ground, use my hands again to bring me up one step higher. Now from this position here, usually you've got a railing or a banister or something that can assist you, only when you're ready to come all the way up into a standing position again. So that is getting up using the stairs. This final scenario is the least ideal situation you want to find yourself in, where you actually haven't got any structural things around you or furniture to pull yourself up on. So you're going to be using your own strength, and this is probably one of the most common ways you're going to be getting up and off the floor. So finding yourself all the way down on your side, you're going to be using both arms here. So I'm using my top arm and my top arm to push me up off the floor, and my bottom arm is going to do a little bit of pushing as well to lift me up into a seated position here. So I'm still on that bottom hip there. So if this hip is really sore and you think, I cannot possibly sit on this hip, just come back down to the ground and see if you can roll on over to the other side of your body. Now from here, I'm going to very slowly come up again into this seated position. Now you, again, might have one good leg, one bad leg, or they might not be both crash hot, but you want your better leg to be the one that is coming forwards when we come up into a kneeling position. So from here, my hands come down to the floor. Now you do want, if you have got a bad shoulder, you want that to be this arm here. You don't want it to be the one that's doing all of this load bearing on this side. So if your bad shoulder is in this position, then you want to bring those legs around to the other side so that your good shoulder is the one that's pushing you out of this position here, coming into a 4-point kneeling position. So your knees are underneath you, underneath your hips, and your hands are underneath your shoulders. From here now, Willie, come here. You're going to bring one foot forwards, excuse me, little puppies. And dogs will often come and greet you if you do have them when you're on the floor. So bringing your good leg forward. So your strongest leg, you want that leg out in front of you. Remember, take your time with this one and don't rush. If you can, bring yourself up so that your torso is up nice and high. Then from here, you can bring both hands onto your thigh in front of you. Now this is quite tricky. You are going to be pushing through the top of your back foot, or you can tuck your toes and press through those toes as well. I'm pushing through my hands on my knees. My leg is going to be pushing up most of all on this front leg, and the toes of the back leg are going to push off the floor to bring me up to a standing position. Then from there, if you can, leaning up against a wall or using a railing to hold on to just to get your bearings for a moment. I hope you enjoyed this series of getting up and off the floor. Please let me know if you have any questions, and also if you would like to work one-on-one a little bit more with some instructions on how you can really effectively improve your movements for getting up off the floor. There are always a ton of exercises that I can give you if getting down onto the floor is still something that is quite daunting to do. I have lots of exercises that I can give you that can really strengthen your upper body and strengthen your lower body, so that if you do find yourself in the situation where you are on the floor, you will feel more empowered to be able to use your own body to bring you up off the floor. Thank you all, and have a lovely rest of your week.